Okay, let's talk through design task number 4, where to build a new Wawa. So story map is very, very limited. Just there's a new client, it's Wawa. They want to build a store somewhere in Montgomery County, but where? And the directions are pretty minimal. There's the map, there's the data layers, use them to decide where to put it. Once you've decided, add a place marker, and then add text to the place marker that will explain your reasoning. There's a link down at the bottom to open the map in a new window. And I'd recommend doing the same thing that the instructions said to do in design task number 3, which is first turn everything off to see what we're looking at. So we've got a boundary of Montgomery County there because we're only interested in adding a new location inside of Montgomery County. Then this shows all of the current locations of Wawa. And note that this is quite broad. I don't think it's the full nationwide reach of it, but it's a whole bunch of them. So this is all the current locations versus this is only those locations inside of Montgomery County. Okay, so let me turn that off, turn it back on. So this is all locations, and you can see how the ones inside of Montgomery County are red. And then just Montgomery County, there's a layer and they're orange. So to make life easier, students might want to turn off the full set and just look at the Montgomery County set because they're saying, where am I adding a new orange dot within Montgomery County? So what might be some of the variables that they would be interested in? Well, there is a projected population annual growth rate, and it looks like this. So each of these parcels of land is projected to grow and marked or shrink and marked by color appropriately. So you take a look at the legends, and green means growth and orange means shrinkage. So Philadelphia, for example, expected to have a slight decline in population versus a bunch of spots in Montgomery County looking to grow in population. So we have population growth rate. You'd probably want to put a new Wawa in a place where you're expecting there to be more people, not fewer people as time goes on. Then we have average annual daily traffic. Wawas are convenience stores. People generally drive to this location or otherwise take transit to get there. So this network of green lines shows the average annual daily traffic that you get if you click on one of these green lines. So let me just randomly click right here. It's going to give a pop-up that says the average annual daily traffic is 3,030 vehicles. Kind of staggering when you think about it. So the last data layer is drive time radii that I created a layer that created a 5-minute drive time around each Wawa. So if I just zoom in right here, for example, to get to this particular Wawa location, which is store number 0105, to get there, you are within a 5-minute drive if you are anywhere within this purple polygon right here. And note that it follows the streets, right? So you can see like this street coming out here and then turning and then going out there. That, somebody over here can reach it within 5 minutes because they've got the way that the street runs, versus somewhere who's just a little bit, outside of that radius on 152 can't reach it within 5 minutes. And I just arbitrarily chose a 5-minute drive time because, after all, some Wawas are quite close. As you can see right here, I actually have 2 Wawas right by one another. And so they've did 2 drive time radii are overlapping with one another. They're quite close. And also, if I made it any bigger, then they would just sort of cover all of Montgomery County. So this gives you a chance to look and say, well, where do I see a hole? It's not currently covered by those drive time radii. Well, I've got a hole here, and I've got a hole here, and I've got a hole in here, all over the place. So let's now add in population annual growth rate. And we're like, oh, wait, so some of these holes have, green for areas projected to add people versus some of them have more orange projected to lose people. So that would steer your attention in some areas rather than others. And then if you add in the average annual daily traffic on it, you could then start to make, sort of fine-grained decisions about, would I rather add, a new Wawa over here where it's not quite as dark green, but I do get more traffic, right? So 28,405 versus if I'm adding the new Wawa over here. Let's see, let me pick this road, where there's, only 2,600, or this road 12,000. So it's just a whole different volume of traffic there. And so the campers can think about growth rate, they can think about traffic density, and if they're very clever, they can also think about, wait a minute, let me bring back in those non-Montgomery Wawa locations. So for example, if they get interested up here, then they want to keep in mind that, wait, there's a Wawa right here, like not very far away. And that there are some other locations that are right there along the borders. So when it's time to make a choice, we're going to add sketch layer. And this is pretty simple. The default sketch icon is a place marker or stamp. So we'll just say that we want to do it right here. So that's my new location. And then I go into the pop-up, enable the pop-up, and now I can start to add text. And so I can say, something like that. All right, and then once we're done, there it is. It is on the map, and then if you click on it, you get the pop-up. You get the explanation that they added right into there. And that is how we can do design task number 5. Sorry, design task number 4.